Or I wish we could get the thoughts of the governor. But hey, let's get the thoughts of the technical advisor to the governor on communication and strategy, Don Abednego, joins us right here in our Lagos studio. Mr. Abednego, thank you for coming on the program. Yeah,
thanks for having me. I think it's nice being here.
Fantastic, also seeing you. And your name is a rare name, by the way.
It is, and a whole lot of folks are trying to get some money so that they can procure this name, but it's not for sale. Anyway, for you, I can let you have part of it.
Not a problem. But let's get to the business that made us invite you here. So, is this Governor Diri declaring Nyesom Wike persona non grata in Bayelsa State?
I think no Nigerian has ever been treated that way. And we can start with the FCT minister, a distinguished member of the Executive Council of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We do not have any personal problems with him. The interest of the Bayelsa State government, and that should be the interest of all Nigerians, is to ensure that there is peace and tranquility in this country. It is also important to mention that Bayelsa State holds a very strategic position in advancing the prospect of democracy and, by extension, economic progression and prosperity. It is true, therefore, that any time things get wrong in Bayelsa State, by extension, gets wrong totally within all Ijaw communities, and it spills to the entire Niger Delta. And don't ask me. The position of Bayelsa State and the Ijaw nation, and by defiance, the Niger Delta, is that critical assets of the federal government are located there. The strength of this country largely leans on oil revenue. The federal government has consistently pronounced that in advancing the prospects of a new Nigeria under the renewed hope of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is that crude production is going to be raised up to 2 million barrels per day. And that's a fantastic thing, because it will make us to have better education. They will profile education in this country. They will ensure that Medicare and Medicaid in this country is taken to a new level. It will make us to have critical infrastructure. Remember, in Bayelsa State and indeed the Ijaw nations, we do not have this critical infrastructure, but the hope is there that the governor of Bayelsa State is doing fantastically well in providing, critical infrastructure for our people, advancing the cause for educational reprofiling, and all of that. It is therefore necessary that we sustain the peace in Bayelsa State. So it is not about declaring someone in the
Are you saying that the coming of Nyesom Wike, which he has a right under the Constitution, under his fundamental right to associate as he likes, to move as he likes, and even being a top official of government, are you saying that his coming to Bayelsa is going to upset the peace? But hold your thought for a moment. Let's take a listen to what your governor had said, and then you'll respond to that question.
States, particularly one George Turner, is threatening the peace of this state. And recently there is a report with his own number that he is going to host the Minister of FCT in Tombia roundabout in Bayelsa. The minister is not from Bayelsa State. This is not FCT. This is Bayelsa State. All service commanders should be at alert. That meeting must not take place in Bayelsa State. He can host his minister anywhere outside Bayelsa State. And I direct further that no public place, no public school, no public place, infrastructure, should be used by anybody except by the approval of the state government.
People listening will say this is a direct threat to the organizers and to Nyesom Wike. I listened to George Turner, who said that they are not using any public facility. So why the furore?
Yeah, I think for Nigerians who know who Diri is as a governor, he's a soft speaker. He's a very liberal-minded Democrat. And he's a very tolerant governor. For you to hear him say this, he's speaking the minds of his people. Remember, he's not a military leader. He was elected by the people. He's a product of democracy. And the people of Bayelsa State, and by extension the Ijaw nation, have told him, if this rally, supposed rally takes place, situations will get bad in this state. And I just mentioned there not long ago that anytime things get wrong in Bayelsa, it affects the economy of this country. Who is there in this country that does not want Nigeria to progress? Who is there that does not love peace and tranquility? We are saying that as Bayelsans and as Ijaw people, we want to sustain the prevailing peace in Bayelsa. Remember,
this is him worried about what is going on in River State. He doesn't want it to happen in Bayelsa State. Is that what this is? It is
beyond just what is happening in River State. Though we understand that River State is like our parent state because Bayelsa State was created from a River State. But truth be told, all that happened in River State, I don't believe there is any responsible, reasonable Nigerian that is saying that is okay. And remember, that part of River State, it's an Ijaw community. The governor that was removed there is an Ijaw man. But that is not the point. The point is the ripples of the crisis in River State are largely affecting Bayelsa State. And leave that apart. A couple of weeks back, the FCT minister, I will not mention his name to glorify him with due respect to his position, he did say openly on different channels, and he addressed the media, he called virtually every leader in Ijaw land, including our governor, late Pa Ike Clark, the president of INC, our leaders, the Isaac Burrows, the dead and their life. He said they should go to hell. Who are they? They are useless people. I will see what I will do. He said so. It's a record.
I don't think he used the word.
He used. No.
I don't think
next time, for fast check,
I don't think he used the word useless.
No, let me tell you.
I'm not holding brief for him, for the records, but I don't think he used the word useless.
Maybe you tell me what he said.
No, but at least I know he didn't use the word
take
useless.
Away that. I am saying he used very disparaging remarks against the people of our land, including the dead and our leaders, and our people are not happy about it. Every community, every neighborhood, you go to Bayelsa State, and indeed the entire Ijaw nation, they are saying this man has pricked us at the wrong spot. And therefore, he is coming to Bayelsa State, it's ill-timed. Note, what the governor is doing is to protect peace and security. What the governor is doing is to ensure that law and order is maintained. Any act that is going to undermine law and order in Bayelsa State is likely going to undermine national security.
Let me try and see if I can interpret this. So this is you and the people of just saying you have abused our sensibilities, and for now stay away from our spaces to avoid escalation of things. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly so, and beyond that, as the Ijaw people, we are forced to imagine the remarks of the FCT minister were directed to an ethnic nationality in Nigeria like the Yorubas. And he did say, for example, that, who is Odudua? They should go to hell. I will see what they will do to me. And he starts mentioning Awolowo and other leaders in Yoruba. What will the president say? Will he blink his eye and look the other way? And that is why, for me as a person, as Nigerians who are concerned about these threats to a breakdown of law and order, to ask, who is the national security advisor in this country? A couple of years ago, I was in the police force as an officer. And I used to know the national security advisor, a fantastic police officer, one of the most respected law enforcement officers in this country, Mr. Nuhu Ribado. What has happened to him? Is he not aware that the utterances of a person in government poses grave and imperative threats to national security? Does he not understand that if there is a crisis in the Niger Delta, specifically in Bayelsa State, let me say this, it will affect the peace and tranquility that is pervading the land. So we want to sustain it, and therefore, where we know that the bloods of the people have turned torrent and there is obvious threats to violence, please, can we put it off?
So as the governor escalated this to the presidency?
Look, there is nothing the governor has not done. The governor has spoken to the presidency, he has spoken to the National Security Advisor, he has spoken to the Inspector General of Police, he has spoken to the DG, DSS, he has spoken to all security chiefs. He had him said that he also convened a meeting of all security chiefs in the state, and he outlined everything based on even their security reports. Look, we don't want to act on the basis of reciprocity on the wrong side.
Okay.
A couple of years ago, not long, there was an outgoing governor of Bayelsa State, distinguished Senator Harry Senake Dixon, who went to Rivers State to visit our brothers, our Ijaw brothers, specifically the Amayanoba of Kalabari, a very revered monarch in Nigeria. Do you know what the governor of Rivers State, then the FCT minister now, he said? He said if not that he's respecting himself, he would have sacked the king for allowing the governor of Bayelsa State to visit his state without letting him know. See, look, we don't want this level of affront. Nigeria has grown beyond this. And so starting reckless utterances must not be tolerated by national security advisors.
Let's land on this. What happens? What if Judge Turner and the new associate, which I suspect means Nyesom isn't one week associate? That's my suspicion. I may be wrong.
Yeah, right.
So if they defy all of this threat and all of these things, utterances, and decide to go on in a private space and do their thing, what happens?
Not long ago, there was an outright condemnation by Nigerians as to what happened at Abalama in River State. This same FCT minister, I will not mention his name, was to be received like what is about happening in Bayelsa State. And there was a total outright condemnation by all persons who meant well for this country. The National Security Advisor was properly briefed about it. He looked the other way. And do you know what happened? All the military arsenals in this country were mobilized to Abalama to protect this entity, this individual, the FCT minister. You know what? Air Force planes, helicopters, fighter helicopters by the police, marine and watercrafts, gunboats and warboats, mobile men in their squadrons in Abalama in Far River State was turned upside down. Today are the job people. But do you know what we did as the job people? We said this is a serious affront. Let us pretend not to toe their line of insecurity. Now, is that what they want to do in Bayelsa State? And let me say it for free. Bayelsa State is not Abalama. Bayelsa State is the cradle of the Ijaw nation. It's the Jerusalem of all Ijaws. And take it or leave it. Ijaws in the United States will be permitting on Bayelsa State to come and receive Wike. Ijaws in Akwa Ibom State, in Ondo State, they are Rogbos. In River State, in Delta, and of course, remember the mother nation of the Ijaw State, Bayelsa, they will all come from the creeks and the cranes.
Is that a threat?
No, listen, they will be coming to receive the FCT minister. They said the Ijaws want to receive the minister for doing so well for their sons and daughters.
We will not preach violence.
No, it's not violent. We're saying, look, at the end, we will mobilize to receive the FCT minister, and then we will see the same embarrassment that was done in Abalama. But the question is, have we become a state that is so brutish in nature that the National Security Advisor does not want to do what is right?
Okay.
What is right is very simple. Put off this rally for the sake of peace and tranquility, for the protection of the national economy, because if there is crisis in Bayelsa State, all the security forces that are protecting national assets will be demobilized down to those areas where there are crises to settle down situations. And then some people who do not mean well for this country can undermine the security architecture of this country.
It's quite clear that the government doesn't want him to come back.
We don't, not just the government, every leader in the Ijaw nation at home and in diaspora does not want this rally to hold.
At the end of the day, we're already dealing with the issue in River State. We don't want a more escalation within that region. So I'm sure the government is listening to you, listening to everybody, and there'll be a way to find a path to peace, so that whatever crisis is brewing is averted as much as possible. I don't know what it is that will be done to avert that. But hey, we must thank you for coming on the program, Mr. Abednego Don, technical advisor to the Bayelsa State Governor on communication and strategy. Thank you, sir, for coming to Lagos to join us here.
It's a pleasure being here. And the final word, even though you've just drawn the curtain, let peace reign in Bayelsa State so that Nigeria
Let peace reign in Nigeria.
Thank you.
Fantastic.